I had the opportunity to meet Chris Doe in person, and that encounter became my silver lining. I suddenly decided that I had it. I told myself, we're so freaking over this drama. Tama na. Ayoko na. I was so determined to do better and be happier. I wanted this to be my turning point.
Come and fly away with me. Come and fly away with me.
Welcome to MEMAmorphosis, the show that offers mindful empowerment and meaningful advice so you can make every moment awesome. And now, to offer transformational talak and knowledgeable kuda, here's the InspirePreneur herself, Jozelle Tech.
Everyone, welcome to the podcast. So, if you follow me closely, you'll know that I've been very excited to put this out there. And I've also wanted to create more content for you guys, may it through video or through podcast. Pero gusto ko talagang i-double down yung pagka-create ko ng content to connect with you more. But laging may pumipigil, and I think it's because of the technicalities, because of the know-how, and my perfection. I want it to be in the best time, in the best place. I wanted to use, the best gadget and all those things. Pero ang nangyayari, wala akong nagagawa, di ba? And so, this podcast, I want it to be a safe space for everyone. A safe space for flaws, mistakes, for vulnerability, for authenticity. Like, yung kung ano lang yung totoo, I want it to be a comfort place for you. And I want to comfort you with the letters I'll be reading, the advices that I'll be telling you, and everything in between. And so, today, I told myself, you know what? I'll just go with what I have right now. Kung ano yung meron ako dito, whatever tools I have, I just really want to make this happen. I've been delaying this idea for months, and I don't want this to be the same ideas that I've thought of, but I have never executed it. I always tell my mochis, it's now or never. And so, let's do this. I invite you to listen to this podcast as a tool for you to also be comfortable with yourself, with your own skin, with your own flaws, and with everything that you have in your life right now. Okay? And I don't want my perfectionist self get in the way. I just really want to get this done. And I just want to make this happen for me and for you. So today, we'll start with a letter. I thought it would be a great teaser into what this podcast is going to be like. What kind of me, what kind of Jozelle you would be getting, and just a peek of what to expect. Okay? So let's get to it. Dear Coach, hindi ko na talaga kaya. Hirap na ako. Alam mo, for the first time in years, nabuo ulit yung family ko at kasama ko na ulit yung mom ko. Dapat sobrang saya ko kasi ito yung pinapangarap ko for a long time. Pero ba't ganun? Sobrang lungkot ko. Gulong-gulo na talaga ako. I feel like I've broken down so many times and I've become too tired to even cry. Parang sobrang sakit, pero at the same time, manhid na manhid ako. Pwede ba yun, Coach? Hindi ko alam, parang nababaliw na ata ako. It feels like I'm in the shittiest moment of my life. Ubus na ako. Every day, I wake up with imposter syndrome. I'm always filled with negativity. My heart is broken. And while there are things to be happy about, wala. I still feel miserable. It all started with a breakup and a deteriorating illness. Now I'm sick and depressed. I'm so unhealthy. I'm losing half of my clients and starting to fail my team. And I'm watching my business crumble. I'm so lost, Coach. I feel like I've lost any grasp of who I am and what I want to do with my life. Sobrang walang direksyon. Nawala na ng purpose at paubos na rin ng hope. Araw-araw, lumalaban naman ako pero ang hirap. So this is my last attempt to turn things around. Tulungan mo naman ako, Coach. You seem to always find a way to move forward despite the challenges life throws at you. Please help me find the strength to continue because I'm honestly barely holding on. Mary. Bigat, no? Ang bigat-bigat. First of all, hi Mary. Before we begin, I just want to thank you for sharing your story. Alam ko hindi madali. It takes so much courage to admit you are in a dark place and ask for help. I want to reassure you na from here on out, things can only get better. Isn't that what they always say about hitting rock bottom? There's only one way left to go, but up. You are definitely not alone. So I invite you to take comfort in that. You know, alam mo, I found myself in a very similar situation a few years ago. Kaya siguro damang-dama ko yung letter mo. I suffered from terrible bouts of anxiety. I was overthinking about everything and anything. Alam mo yung araw-araw gigising ka, sobrang bigat ng pakiramdam mo, but it also felt empty. Kaya gusto mo na lang matulog ulit. Gusto mo na lang ibaon yung mukha mo doon sa kama at matulog na lang ulit. It was a recurring thoughts of hopelessness and failure. I lost interest in everything and everyone. Wala. Parang, okay, wala lang. And dumating pa sa time where
I was getting nightmares.
and was constantly in a state of fear. Kinakabahan ako, natatakot ako, at bawat pikit ko, tumutulo yung luha ko. Sobrang nakakabaliw talaga. And despite being surrounded by a wonderful support system, yung pamilya ko, yung mga kaibigan ko, I felt so alone. Alam mo, naalala ko pa kapag nagmumukmuk ako nun sa bed, bigla na lang lalapit yung mga pamangking ko sa akin. Tapos bigla silang magpo-perform na parang gusto lang talaga nila ako pasayahin. Nagsasayaw sila, kumakanta sila, kung ano yung ginagawa nila. Parang alam nila na may pinagdadaanan ako, kaya gusto nila akong pasayahin. Kaya talaga naman pinipilit ko din na labanan. Nilalabanan ko, kaya nakikipaglaro ako sa kanila, nakikipagkulitan ako, nakikipagtawanan. Pero you know, kapag sa gabi, kapag tulog na yung lahat, kapag ako na lang yung gising, wala akong ibang ginagawa kundi umiyak na umiyak nang umiyak. O yung parang pakiramdam mo, nag-iisa ka talaga. Pero may makakasama ka naman. At alam mong nandyan naman sila para sa'yo. Pero hirap na hirap kasi ako nun eh. Ayoko silang idamay sa pinagdadaanan ko. But those moments, I was really, really miserable. My mind was in a very dark place. And every day, I struggled to think about what I freaking wanted to do. I kept asking myself, Uy, ano bang gusto mo? What do you fucking want? Wala akong sagot. Di ko alam yung sagot eh. I didn't answer. I didn't know. Blanco. And yet, I was in denial that shit is happening in my life again. Then one day, I broke down in the bathroom. Kasi wala namang ibang time na mag-isa ako. Madalas kapag sa gabi, kapag tulog na yung lahat. O kaya kapag nasa banyo ako, kapag bago ako maligo. Dun yung time na binubuhos ko lahat ng sakit, ng bigat. Iyak lang ako ng iyak. Ang hindi ko alam, naririnig pala ako ng pamilya ko sa labas. And then, one time, when my mom heard me, siguro sobrang lakas ng gulugul ko, she came running to me inside and she kept asking me, ano nangyayari anak? Ano bang problema? Nandito si mami. Magsabi ka kay mami, andito lang ako. I didn't answer. I couldn't even speak. Tears just kept running down my cheeks. Iyak lang ako ng iyak. But that moment gave me a signal na, oo nga no, ba't ko ba sinasarili to? Nandiyan naman yung pamilya ko. Nandiyan yung nanay ko. And I know she'll always listen to me. So, after Christmas, siguro ilang araw pagkatapos ng Pasko, I decided to open up to my mom. Pinuhos ko sa kanya talaga lahat. And I decided to be honest with myself that I fucked up. I really fucked up this time. And it felt like as if it's the end of the world. Wala na. Ito na yon. And you know what's the best thing about my mom? She knows how to listen. And she knows me. She knows when I don't want to talk about things, I don't want confrontation, and I just need someone who can listen to me. And she did just that. And so, after that, yung tension, yung bigat ng balikat ko, nabawasan ng husto. And I was so thankful to my mom dahil nakahinga ako ng maluwag. Mas maluwag. I know I'm still in the same shit, But gumaan, sobrang gumaan. And then, a week later, after ng New Year, I got a message from one of my mentors, Crystal. He messaged me and said, I have free time to meet today if you are free. And oh my God, like, seriously, I've been wanting to meet him. I've never met him in person. And one of my goals is to actually meet him when I was in the US. And so when he messaged me that, sobrang na-excite ako. So I had the opportunity to meet Chris Doe in person. And that encounter became my silver lining. I suddenly decided that I had it. I told myself, we're so freaking over this drama. Tama na. Ayoko na. I was so determined to do better and be happier. I wanted this to be my turning point. And that's when I started writing in my journal again, writing down my thoughts and feelings, expressing myself through words. It was like, kailangan masulat ko muna lahat, mailabas ko muna lahat sa utak ko, sa dibdib ko, for me to be able to move on from it. I also wrote down what I wanted to become in 3 years, in 2025. And little by little, I started to accept what had happened and recognize that everything happens for a reason. At yung rason na yon, posibleng hindi ko maintindihan kahit kailan. Pero okay lang, tanggap ko na. I took a step back, look at the bigger picture, and started to take control of my life again. And that decision made a sense of purpose and direction in my life. So you see, Mary, in times of self-doubt, worries, and even life-ending chaos like this, when somehow you start doubting your skills, competence, and worth, when you feel overwhelmed and confused about what you want to do with your life, I advise you to try this. Instead of focusing on thinking about what you want to do, start focusing on who you would want to become. I wrote down the list of traits and characteristics I wanted to be, and here's the twist. I started living like I was already that person. It's a technique I learned from a good friend of mine, Tin Cabrera. Tin, if you're listening to this podcast, hello. You have no idea how much you've helped me with those tools. In the end, I knew I only needed to do one thing: move forward. So I invite you to try this, Mary. You can even start with something as simple as deciding that tomorrow you want to be someone who eats better because you notice that your unhealthy diet contributes to your depression. The more you eat bad things, the more you feel bad about yourself. You can even break that down. Sabi mo, di ba, you feel so unhealthy. So, why not try moving around a bit? Hindi naman kailangan mag-marathon ka agad, di ba? I mean, paunti-unti lang. Push yourself to take a few minutes, a 10-minute walk every day, then gradually move from there. You know, I'm the last person who will tell you to just get over it. Tama na yung drama. Tigilan mo na yung arte mo. Huwag ka magpabebe. You know why? Because I've been there. And it's easier said than done. All I'm saying is, the best way to acknowledge this season of your life and learn from it is to strive to overcome it. Kahit paunti-unti. Being stuck, sulking is never a good idea. Pag mumukmuk ka, magkukulong ka, it's not the best move, especially in your situation right now. The greatest thing I've learned from this is that it's not about who you are today, but about who you want to become tomorrow and the price you are willing to pay to get there. Like I shared a while ago, hindi naman malaki agad. Small steps, baby steps. Wala kang 1,000,000 kung wala kang piso. So start with baby steps. So ask yourself, anong effort ang ma-exert ko today so that I can feel a little bit better tomorrow? Then keep going. One day you'll realize that the bad days are all behind you and you have become the person you have always wanted to become. The someone that the broken you today will be so proud of. You know, there is so much joy waiting when you are through with this season. I know you have it in you to continue, Mary. Kaya mo yan. You have to trust me because I am you and you are me. Our letter sender for our pilot episode is Jozelle from 2 years ago. Can you believe it? Yes. That's right. It's me. This is something I haven't fully shared, but I've decided to do so now because, again, I want this podcast to be a safe space for everyone. I'm at a point of my life where I still experience anxiety, depression, minsan-minsan. So remember, Mary, we've gotten better now. But our lives still isn't perfect and it will never be. We'll just learn to accept that. The persona I visualized I wanted to be became the tool I used to move forward in every difficult situation. I figured as long as I have someone I want to be and something I still want to achieve, that becomes my motivation to wake up another day and keep moving towards it. I'm not yet done, and neither are you, Mary. Keep going, and I'm very excited to meet you.
Thanks for tuning into the pilot episode. MEMAmorphosis is a show that encourages personal and professional progress by offering transformational advice. Just like the episode you heard, we will feature letters from friends and colleagues asking for advice on anything under the sun. The show will also have tips for aspiring freelancers and business owners, as well as motivational reflections that will rewire your thinking towards living a life of joy and purpose. Tune in every Sunday, 7 p.m. You can also reach Jozelle on Facebook, facebook.com/JozelleTech, or facebook.com/InspirePreneur, or head on over to her Instagram @TheJozelleTech. Cheers to your MEMAmorphosis. Here's a reminder to make every moment awesome.